All right, guys. Ask a Felon back here with another one for you. I was asked the question, how do you survive, and any advice? How did you make it through it, survive through prison, and any advice for somebody who's a first timer? Only advice I can give is you want to stay in your own lane. You don't want to go in there trying to kiss everybody's ass. You don't want to go in there trying to be big shot either. You just want to carry yourself like you're in your own world. You ain't, if you go in there and you're trying to please everybody and be all buddy chummy, you're gonna look like you're weak. And if you run around there trying to act like you're a badass, you're gonna find out quick you ain't. Y'all remember, there's always somebody badder than you. That's just the way life works. And in prison, there's a lot of big bad people in there, people who would take your life and won't even care, especially if you're in a maximum security prison like I was. What led me up to that was a bunch of history of drug abuse, which I'll make a video on how my drug addiction started out, where it landed, and why I did the things I did while I was on them. But other than that, as far as prison goes, you're gonna find somebody and you click with. You'll find somebody like that. I mean, if you've ever been to jail, you know there's people in jail you just can't stand, and that you just wish you was the type of person that would just go pick a fight with them because they run their mouth all day, every day. You got the same kind of people in prison. Like when I first got to prison, I remember there was a guy, he had his whole face tattooed up. Like his whole face was a complete tattoo. And everywhere we went, whether we went to chow, whether we went to a GED class, whatever church, whatever we went to, he was always running his mouth, not to the inmates, but he would be running his mouth to the guards, to where he was the loudest person in the prison pretty much. Well, I used to think, man, I can't stand that dude. He just thinks he's the shit, blah, blah, blah. Well, when I ended up getting moved from the idle dorm where I was doing my GED, they move you. If you're in a program, they won't keep you in an idle dorm, because an idle dorm is where people are just idle. They have no purpose. Their day is to get out for them 2 hours each time they let you out for them couple hours. To them, they're like a caged dog, and they get to go for a walk. But when I got switched to my GED class, I got to go to a different dorm, one that wasn't idle. I had people in different programs. And after I was in there for about, 3-4 months, I had one bunkie who he was borrowing everything off everybody. They called him Chaos. His name was Chaos. His nickname was Chaos anyway. And he was running around bumming and buying shit off people on credit. Well, he was getting a bunch of, he was buying weed and all kinds of shit. He was smoking it with me. He was sharing what he got with me. But eventually, I woke up one morning. He went to breakfast, and I woke up one morning and there was a note in my door, or in my cell on a desk. It said, "I'm sorry to do this to you, man, but I got a chance of going home early, and I'm not going to ruin it because of the debt I ran up." So he ran up all kinds of debt. But next thing you know, here comes all these motherfuckers that come up to my cell telling me I knew he was going to leave, and I smoked on it with him. I said, I don't give a fuck. Did I get it from you? Did you bring it to me? Did me and you make the exchange? No, we didn't. I said, hell yeah, I smoked on it. I said, but I never fucking told you I was getting it from you. I said, that was all him. I didn't know what the fuck he was doing. So what if he smoked it with me? And remember in my last video, if you caught where I told you one of the gang members said that I was good because I was in there for burglary after he ran me and checked me. Luckily, he was in that dorm, the same dorm I got moved to. He just happened to be moved to that dorm a little bit after I got there. Well, while all these people are surrounding me up at my door, telling me, oh, you're going to pay because you smoked on it too and all this shit, I'm up there arguing. I'm like, I ain't paying shit. I didn't come to you and ask for it. My bunkie got that shit. And so what if he smoked it with me? That was his debt. That ain't my fucking debt. And they was talking whooping my ass and all kinds of shit. I had like 4 or 5 motherfuckers up there around me. Well, here come that one dude who was in the other dorm who ran me for burglary and checked to make sure I was in there for burglary. he came up and he told him, he's like, "No, that dude's cool. That dude ain't on no bullshit." And they was like, "How do you know him?" He's like, "I was in the other dorm with him. He paid his debts. He ain't on no bullshit." So, piece of advice that I could tell somebody: don't get in there thinking that you're going to get in there and run up a bunch of debt, and then you're going to be able to check out of that dorm and go to the next, because that's what a lot of people was doing. As a matter of fact, I know there's a guy here in my hometown that I was locked up in prison with, and he was getting bounced around from dorm to dorm to dorm because he was running up debt, borrowing soups and candy bars and shit like that, and not paying people back. And he'd just check in, which is checking in is you either go protective custody or they just move you from that dorm to another dorm. But guess what? You're in prison. You ain't going very far. People know how to get communications to people. So if you run up your debt in K block and you think you're going to be safe because you got moved to M block, guess what? At chow time, them all go together. Somebody's going to send a message over to your dorm that you owed that other person money. So you ain't going to get by with it. So don't ever be in there borrowing unless you have the money to pay. I recommend you don't borrow at all. If you ain't got it, you don't need it in there. That's just the way it is. You can get you a job in there. It don't pay much. I had a job doing laundry. It took me, I didn't get that until almost the end of my time. And that was when I was in the therapeutic community program. I actually got the job doing laundry, which I loved it because I got to be out at night while everybody else was locked in for the night. So while all the other dorms was locked, like the whole dorm was locked down, they was in for the night, bedtime, locked down at 10 or 11. I can't remember which time it was. And you didn't get out until breakfast again. Then even then, when you got out for breakfast, it was just to go to breakfast and come right back. And then you still didn't get out until like 9 or 10. So I got to be able to be out roaming the whole time while everybody else was asleep because I had to do laundry. People would hang their laundry bags on their door and you go collect them and throw them in a big washer and shit. So biggest things is don't borrow if you can't pay. Recommend don't borrow in anyway, period. And another idea to keep yourself safe, just mind your business. Straight up, just like if it don't involve you and it ain't got a direct effect on you, then don't worry about it. Because I ain't gonna lie, when I first got in there, there were some people who tried to test your patience. I had one guy that was from my hometown, tried to borrow coffee off of me, got mad because I didn't have it. Told him I don't have it like that. He was like, "Well, you just brought in a whole big bag." I said, "I know, but I ain't got it for you, man. I ain't trying to be a dick." Yeah, well, we're hometown. So I don't care. I didn't fuck with you out there in my hometown, and I'm not gonna fuck with you in here. I don't have it. I don't have no coffee for you. Well, he tried to cut me in line, and he did get under my skin. We was in line to get our laundry exchange for new outfits because they do that once every so often. You can turn in your old uniform and get a new one. Well, he kept looking at me, and he walks up and steps in front of me and cuts me in the line. And I just let it build up. And finally, I just told him, I looked at him, I said, "You ain't doing shit." He was like, "Excuse me?" I said, "You ain't doing shit. I'm letting you cut me, just so you know. So don't think you're doing a fucking thing." And he started running his mouth. "Oh, I got high blood pressure. Motherfucker, you gonna get me going?" I don't give a fuck. I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you cut me. So don't think you're doing something special here by looking back, smirking at me, motherfucker. But control your temper. That's another thing, because one wrong choice can be a 6 months longer you stay in jail, or I should say prison. So control your temper. You're going to have to learn patience because everything works on their schedule, not yours. And main thing, stay in your lane. Just be you. I mean, you don't have to carry yourself like you're a badass. You don't have to carry yourself like you're a pussy. Just be who you are. Mind your business. If it don't involve you, then don't bother with it. So don't borrow. Don't run up debts you can't pay back. Don't get in other people's business. Don't gossip. Believe me on that. You don't want to gossip. I see so many people that be gossiping, and then next thing you know, it gets back to the other person, and there's a full-on fist fight going on. If you're getting tattoos, you get your own needle. Always have your own needle. Never trust that the person changed the needle. Usually most guys who do the tattoo work in there will tell you, bring your own needle. You got to come up with your own needle, which is usually it's a guitar string or it can be a spring or whatever. There's all different ways. I got all of my tattoos in there. I mean, I got my chest plate, my arm sleeved out. But yeah, so don't run up debt. Never trust somebody with a tattoo gun to change the needle, hepatitis or something by doing that, or worse, AIDS. Just stay in your lane. Be you. Don't bum shit out. I don't care if somebody comes up asking for a pencil. You don't have it. Because if the minute you say yes, here's a pencil, they're going to come back the next day asking for something bigger, a piece of paper and a pencil. And the next day they're going to ask for a stamp and an envelope. And then the next day they're going to ask for some soups. It's a never-ending process. So if you got anything, don't be friendly with it. That's your shit. Keep it your shit. Let's see. The guards. You know, I noticed one thing. I never messed with the guards. I didn't give them a hard time. I didn't run my mouth to them. I didn't tell them, fuck you, you ain't shit, CO, and all that shit. And I'll tell you what, it came in handy because when I was getting my tattoo work done, they knew what I was doing. They let me lock down in the other room overnight. Didn't say shit. The guy was cool as fuck. You know why? Because I didn't run my mouth to him. I wasn't disrespectful to him. I didn't bother nobody. I wasn't in trouble all the time. He knew I was getting tattoos. As a matter of fact, he was like, let me see your work. He even checked him out. And you ain't, that's like a big write-up. That's an automatic 6-month time extra if you get caught locking down in the wrong room. But I worked it out with the tattoo guy's bunkie. He go stay in my room that night, and I'll stay in his room that night so his bunkie could finish doing my tattoo work. So be good to the guards. You ain't gotta be like everybody else and run their mouth. All you'd be doing that for anyway is to try to impress people. That's really the only reason you'd run your mouth to them. I mean, honestly. But other than that, guys, that's about it. Stay in your own lane. Don't run up debts. Be cool to the guards. The guards will be cool to you. Don't act scared, but don't act tough. Be you. That's all I got on that subject. Waiting on the questions to come in. I get a question here and there. I get on here and I'll answer it best I can for everybody, give you an idea. So that being said, guys, that's all I got for this one. Till the next one. See ya.